Welcome to episode 13, part 1, FPL of the Time Banter Show. My name is Tarek.
I'm Liam.
And again today, no Riz, unfortunately, he's working late again.
Bless him.
Those slave drivers won't let him out. So yeah, going to be missed, Riz, but we'll soldier on, see how we do, and maybe you can give us some feedback this time since you're not on the show. But again, Pat's show, we're talking mainly about the big four hitters, Kane, Salah, Aguero and Hazard.
Right, okay.
Yeah, with the main talk being obviously everybody trying to get Kane in for the Cardiff game. But we're going to assess whether that's the right thing to do, and if it is, how do we do it, how do we get him in and stuff, and we'll compare the big four, see how we go from that and talk about our plans as well. But before we do, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Press the little bell so you get the notifications when the new videos are out. You can follow us on @FullTimeBanter7 on Twitter as well. Loads of good stuff going on there. Make sure you get on there and we'll pass on our tips. So without further ado, top 10 please, Liam.
Cheers, Tarek. Okay, so joint 9th place with 459 points. We've got Porto AZ Travellers, managed by the Invisible Man, and Bill City FC, Billy Mottram. But at number 8, the comeback is on the cards for Tarek Nazir and the false 9 with 461 points. Well done, great mate.
Thank you, no problem.
2 points ahead of him in 7th place is Sebi Simsimsaru with 463. The Garvatron on the same points in one place above, but bizarrely a place ahead. Don't understand that.
How it works.
Mighty Reds Wannabes 473 in 5th place. Shobi Damani Chris High in 4th with 482, 5 points ahead in 3rd. Triple X Joe Gallagher on 487. Metamorphosis Plus Adam Omar on 494 in 2nd. And still at the top, Gunning San with 515 points, making that position pretty much his own for the moment.
Santosh Kanake, yeah, coming for you, back in the top 10.
I believe you, I believe you. Get fed up, isn't it? It's so hard.
Well, he's stretching his lead a bit. He's about 50 odd points ahead of me. And it's also worth mentioning, just outside the top 10 is our friend Jack Kendall. He's shot up that table.
I noticed that the other day, yeah.
It's just a point out, so he's on 458, just in 11th place or 12th place, something like that. So
we did actually ask Jack to come tonight, didn't we?
We did.
But, unfortunately, he's on a school trip, so we've lost Rizzy. Jack's on a Resi.
Yeah.
And we've just got the Bezzy
mates
show. We tried to failed.
Yeah, it is Wednesday night. Champions League night is going on, so again, making a sacrifice here. Liverpool about to kick off. Well, they've kicked off 10 minutes.
It's always kicking off in Liverpool, isn't it?
It is. But tonight's extra special. We've taken it all the way to Napoli. Yeah. PSG hammering Red Star 6-1, and apparently it could have been double that. Could have been double figures.
Yeah, I imagine some of them players will need a double after that. But yeah, I would have expected that anyway, to be honest. So
yeah, so I think it puts the pressure on Napoli a little bit more. So we'll see how we get on. Hopefully a good result for the Reds, for Liverpool. Right, let's carry on then. We're going to give you our lowest and highest scorers in the Time Banter League this week. Lowest scorer, unfortunately, luckily it's not Team Crispy again.
No, thankfully.
Yeah, it is another little friend of ours. She was back in the summer, early weeks, she was the lowest scorer, unfortunately. But credit to her, it is Sarah Hassan with her team, Teresita United, currently 106th out of 108. On 284 points total. She only got 28 points this week. That was the lowest scorers in the league, but not going to give her too much, flag. She's only about 10. She's doing really well. She's
fair enough. Yeah, that is perfectly all right. Fair play for joining the game.
Yeah, and she insists on making her own choices and her own transfers. She's not getting any help from anybody. So well done,
that's
Sarah.
Good.
Yeah,
they've got to learn young these days. With mollycoddle kids too much, you've got the pitfalls of fantasy football.
Exactly. Yeah. You can never be too young for FPL, as I like to say.
Oh well, good luck, Sarah.
Yeah.
If you guys had any heart, you'd just all give up and let her win because she's only 10.
Yeah. But, I'll carry on as usual. Anyway, highest scorer this week.
Highest scorer is my favourite at the minute, Sibi, and Sebi on 88 points. And looking at it, I think it was the Burnley game that did it for him with Goodmanson on 13 points. Very strong showing across the board, really, from the majority of the players. Like Madison got an assist,
Yes.
So Riz will be doing a happy jig about that. And he's got Kane, Aguero and Hazard in. Obviously he was prepared for this show tonight, but yeah, cracking result there for Sebi and Sim City.
And arguably captained the worst captain of those three, Aguero. Consistent, fair enough, we're going to talk about that. Consistent, but he could have got a few more points off Hazard or Kane. Alright, moving on to yours then.
So exactly half of Simpson got 44. So the international dialing tone for the UK. I'm grasping at positives here, you can see that. Pickford finally showing some form for me, getting 6 points. My tactic of Palace defenders didn't pay off because, as far as I was aware, no home team had ever won the Premier League between Bournemouth and Palace until Monday night, and Bournemouth got 2 past them. So I was sticking with the Palace boys, and I've been banking on them for a bit. Midfield did absolutely bugger all.
So you finally got rid of Eriksen then?
Got rid of Eriksen, because he was injured. Yeah. I misread Tarek's message to me and thought Salah was injured, and then realised it was my beloved Eriksen, and I panicked.
I can't believe that.
So, to be honest, Lucas isn't going to stick around for long. And, Aguero was the only one getting anything, so thankfully I captained him. But pretty average performance, down 245,000 to 841,000. And in the league, down 13 to 45th. So, not so good, because I've left my comfortable 30s.
Yes, to the uncomfortable 40s.
The very uncomfortable 40s.
Which is not boding well for our little wager with Alfred Miguel.
He signed me out, that's what it was. I was thinking this. He sent me barrelling down the league.
No way, right, let's see.
Obviously very mentally fragile. Yeah, T, how do you get on, mate?
I did better. I mean, I got 59 last week, 66 this week, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm not too disappointed. Could have been better, but keeper situation, I still need to sort it out. I had Fabianski and did alright, but Trippier for Spurs came through, and Doherty.
Yeah, I wish I put him in one of.
You need to get in. If you're not on it, you need to get in on the Wolves defence, maybe even their midfield and attack, particularly with Jimenez. But the defenders, 3-4 defenders, so cheap. We spoke about them a couple of weeks ago. You've got to get in on one of them, and Doherty came through this time. 12 points with an assist, I think he got, didn't he?
Yep.
The big boys, Alonso Robertson not really doing anything, Salah not doing anything, Fraser yet to do anything for me since I brought him in, but Hazard and Aguero doing the business. Mitrovic had an off day, and Zaha getting the assist as well. So overall, that's left me up 4 places into the top 10 again, in 8th in the Fantasy League table. Full-time Banter League. 461 points overall, which means it was Green Arrows, 28,000 up to 62,000 overall, which I'm still happy with. Still very happy.
Thank God for you. Me and Riz are letting the team down here.
Riz, speaking of which, I've got his team on here.
Yeah, Riz got 35 points. If you remember, he'd just overtaken me, hadn't he?
Yes.
Last week.
By a place or two, yeah.
Yeah, and then we both went tumbling down together, a bit of an old Jack and Jill situation. Riz's team again, a bit like mine, but I had the Aguero factor that helped out, but nobody's standing out in Riz's team.
No.
Just all 2s and 3s apart from a couple of 6s.
Madison, the only one who came through for him, and he doesn't have Aguero or any top striker. I'm wondering what's going on there. He did actually say, I don't know if he was jesting or what, but put it up on Twitter as well. Apparently, he let his nephew pick his team on Saturday because he was too busy, and his nephew went and put it on Mitrovic, which normally you would say, well, okay, not bad, might come through with a 5-6 point haul, but did nothing this week, Mitrovic, which meant came tumbling down, like you say. He's down to 43rd alongside you, a couple of places away.
Yeah.
Down a massive 400k to 817,000 overall, still inside the top million, but you two really need to get a trophies on.
I think, major overhaul is needed.
Major overhaul, yes. Which leads us nicely, because we need to do this. A few people have been asking. I didn't put all the specific questions in, but I'm going to mention one person in particular, Stuart Crossley, work friend. with his team. Quackers had an absolute nightmare as well. He was in there for lowest points scored this week potentially.
Right.
I think he got 30, which meant it sent him tumbling down. He actually had a good team. He had Kane at one point. He had Mane. I don't know if he still has Mane, who did nothing for him. But he just, I saw him today and he just walked past me and just said, wild card. So he's on his wild card. So Stuart, hopefully a few tips for you. We're going to go through it now. The whole talk on Twitter at the moment now is, can you squeeze all four of Kane, Hazard, Salah and Aguero into your team?
If you use the Wolves defence.
Yes, the short answer is yes, you can, but then you've got absolutely nothing anywhere else in your team.
You'd have a set and forget keepers, but they'd both be second choice. You'd under 4 million.
Yes, yeah. So the popular wisdom is now 3 of those 4.
Okay.
Try and get 3 of those 4, and there's going to be various different strategies. Yeah, the biggest one, the main one being is Kane. Everyone wants to get Kane in because of the Huddersfield game that's passed and the Cardiff game that's coming up.
Yeah.
Have I got that in the right order? I think I have.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's discuss what your thoughts on it at the moment on Kane.
Yeah, so we were talking last week before Eriksen's injury about would we get rid of anybody, would we keep anybody from Spurs, and we were sort of thinking, well, yeah, it's going to pan out quite well. Kane, probably a good shot to get him for Cardiff, but he is £1 million more than Aguero, I think.
£1.5 million, I think, around about. He's got 12.4 or 12.5, back up to 12.5 possibly.
Yeah.
And Aguero's 11.5, I think. Yeah.
So, I mean, if you haven't got a lot of money set aside, so if you've got Aguero or you're Aubameyang, you've Lacazette's, Lukaku's already, if you've got Lukaku, just get rid. But those expensive players, you will have to do some rejigging to get Kane in, but he does seem to be coming into a bit more form. But
just marginally. I mean, if you look at the stats across the board for all 4, they're virtually identical. There's not a lot to pick between them. The underlying stats of, attempts made, shots in the box, shots on target, big chances created, things like that. They're all there or thereabouts. I had a big long list, I didn't bother putting it on. Because you can't really, off those stats alone, you can't really pick who to go for. So I've tried, with the help of some other people, in particular, I'm going to give a shout out to at FPL Connect. If you're on Twitter, get onto that account, follow them at FPL Connect, fantastic account. Again, the analysis they do and the breakdown, and they've they've invented their own, worked out their own formula for a captain's metric, which basically looks at something I'll follow through on here, where it looks at player form, team form and things like that, and they look at fixture ratings and come up with a numbered index for potentially the best
algorithm type thing.
Yes,
right, okay.
And it's fantastic. So I've used some of their information and some of the guys that they go off to pick off. So I mean, I've got this little table here for you to have a look at. Let's go through. I'm going to go through for you quickly, just to give you the heads up on the stats. So far, Kane for goals, Kane on 5, Hazard on 6. Salah on 3 and Aguero on 5. Assists 1, 2, 2 and 4 respectively.
Surprising that for Aguero.
Yeah. But on those, it's worth mentioning there, again, you can't rely entirely just on stats unless you've got the complete picture, because Kane on 5 and Hazard on 6, Hazard has played something like 200 minutes less than Kane.
Right.
And he's up there with the same stats. Yeah. If we move on to bonus points, Salah's the big anomaly here. He doesn't get bonus points.
Nothing at all.
Which at that price he should really be getting. Yeah. But Hazard's leading on bonus points as well. So straight off, number 1, I've got to say to you and Riz, you've got to get Hazard in.
Yeah.
He is the form player at the moment.
It would, just based on those top 3 stats alone, so I'll compare him to Salah because it's 2 midfield. So same amount of assists, but 3 more goals. So you're looking at, what's that, about 18 points, I think, is it 18 points?
Yeah,
something?
Thereabouts,
And the bonus points in, so that's, what, 21? I've lost my thing. 28?
Yeah,
28 more points that could be on the receiving end.
And essentially fixture proof, because he's shown he scored against Liverpool. He's got United coming up. I can see him scoring there. So this whole thing about big teams
I see one score in there, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. One point worth noting for people like Stuart who might be on a wild card, or in fact, I'm going to go through this differently. If you're on a wild card, I think then it's easy and it's a safe option to get Kane in as well.
Yeah.
Because it's not costing you any hits. He's the most expensive striker. So what the strategy would be is after this Cardiff game, you downgrade him, and you can downgrade him to any striker. It's not an issue because of him being the most expensive. The problems arise, which a lot of people, new players in particular, won't realise, is when they're trying to swap a midfielder for a striker. So if they were going to get rid of Salah for Kane, it means 2 transfers, because you've got to drop a striker and you've got to drop Salah and downgrade Salah to a cheaper midfielder to get Kane in. So if you've got 2 free transfers, again, you could do that potentially, but then Liverpool's fixtures change after City this week. We've got Huddersfield and Cardiff coming up, and then our fixtures are easier. So are you going to want to bring him back in which case it's going to cost you another 2 transfers. So it's complicated and expensive. So
it's a pain in the arse.
So basically, if you're in my situation, I've only got 1 free transfer, I would have to take a hit to get Kane in. Do I want Kane? No, I don't. The reason being, right, let's do a quick little breakdown here. I've got some notes here, Liam.
Yeah.
I'll give the first few, you can read the next. Player form, as I've mentioned, Hazard has scored more points than either Kane, Aguero or Salah in the last 5 game weeks. And as mentioned, that is based on reduced minutes because he didn't start the early games. He got reduced, So that's absolutely fantastic. Hazard is nailed on, long-term asset. I think you have to get him in your team no matter what, alongside any of the others that you choose to go for. Team form, Aguero's Manchester City have created the most amount of big chances, 18 of which in comparison to Liverpool, Spurs or Chelsea. So City are in there, so you've got to have a City asset, and at the moment Aguero's looking good for that. Because he gets both goals and assists, and it looks like he's not being rotated with Jesus, although some of you are going to point out, well, he's been subbed on 60 minutes past few games, he's being managed, and that's true, fair enough, because he's got this niggling foot injury going on. But if you think about it now, thinking about Aguero, he has got that injury, he is going to be managed, but we've got the international break coming up in which he's not involved, so he is going to get his rest. So for me, I'm putting him as your second premium striker, nailed on 4, hopefully for the season or for the foreseeable future. So Hazard and Aguero are my 2. And then it's a choice of the third, I think. And what have I got? And the third point, fixture difficulty. Hazard's opponents, Southampton, coming up next, have conceded more big chances, 11, than either of Kane, Aguero or Salah's opponents. However, Cardiff, which is Spurs' opponents next, have conceded the most amount of goals in that time. So, goes without saying, like Huddersfield, Kane's going to get something. But that's more down to the opposition, I think.
Because Huddersfield defend. You could see it coming in again for Cardiff, not in the best nick.
Potentially the worst team I've seen in a long time in the Premiership.
It's Warnock, isn't it? He's not a Premier League manager. I like him. He's a brilliant Championship manager, but he's not. He's not for Premier League.
They are awful. So yes, Kane is going to get you. I mean, even of the 2 goals he got last week, 1 was a penalty. I'm going to let you read out the last 3 points.
No worries. So the next one is likelihood of scoring. According to the bookies, Harry Kane is the most likely to score of the 4 of them. So is that goals per minute? Is it goals per game?
Goals per game, which again we have to put down to the opposition, not the form of Harry Kane or Spurs. Because Spurs have got half their squad out injured, and namely the creative players, Eriksen and whatnot. So he's going to score, but he's not a long-term asset.
And if he's on penalties as well, like you said, it can mislead the stats. I was saying earlier, if you're taking more penalties, you're going to probably score more. Next point, expected goals and assists. Salah has the highest expected goal involvement of the 4 candidates, but he's not bringing in the actual points returns.
And this is it. This is what we're talking about, the underlying stats, because they've always been there. He's underperforming.
Yeah.
So he's got all the shots in the box, shots on target, chances created, attempted assists. It's all there, and you can see it in the last game early on. I mean, against Chelsea, we should have had. He had 2 good shots on goal, 2 clear chances, and he fluffed them.
So Rudiger coming to the rescue at one, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's true. Some good blocks. So his stats are saying he should be doing the business, but clearly he's not.
No.
So again, for me, he's in my team, he's in my squad. I'm going to give him the next game as a buy against City. I think of the 2, Aguero or Salah, he's more likely to score. Aguero famously has not scored at Anfield,
right,
and doesn't do too well in away games anyway. He's more of a home player. But that said, we've got Cardiff, I think, next after that. So see how he looks there, and see if he can convince me and everyone else who's got him to keep hold of him, because if he's off form again there, I can see a mass exodus of Salah.
Yeah.
Salah holders, so then it's time.
Because he'll be given, what is it, 10 games?
Nine games, I think.
He'll be given a fair old whack.
Yeah, long enough. Yeah, so.
Yeah, that we've been talking about. Don't become attached or sentimental, to your own team or players that you like. 2 or 3 weeks tops, but everyone still hanging on to Salah really, just because they're expecting.
Yeah, but because of those missed big chances, even when he's delivering, he's not getting the bonus points, which is at that value, at that price, is a big miss. It's a bit of a shocker. So he's living on borrowed time essentially, Salah. I mean, I'm his biggest fan, but he is living on borrowed time, so he really needs to turn it around. Final points.
Yeah, and in stark contrast to Salah, really, actual goals and assists, Hazard is overperforming to the highest degree of the 4 candidates. And you look at shots on target, chances created, big chances. Hazard isn't highlighted number 1 in any of them, but when he gets a chance, he's putting it away.
Yeah, it's a bit more clinical.
Which is what you want. Yeah, Salah, could it be said he's been quite wasteful at the minute? Certainly compared to Hazard.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely, yeah. And again, of the 4, 3 of them are on penalties, and who's not on penalties?
That'd be Mr. Mo.
Yes, Big Mo. Yeah, so Salah, James Milner, Liverpool idol, is unfortunately on penalties.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, another reason to maybe not have Salah, and possibly why so many people have already jumped ship on Salah. So, one to monitor, yeah? So, our take on that then, and this is going personally at form, because I've, over the course of the week, I don't know if I've been putting it on the group or not, I've been to-ing and fro-ing, umming and ahhing. I've got to a point where I wanted Kane, and I'd worked out my -4, and I was going to end up getting somebody rubbish in midfield to accommodate him. Then I got to a point where I thought, you know what, I could so easily wildcard.
Yeah.
Because I need to sort my keeper out, second keeper, get Begovic out. Masuaku's on my bench, and a couple of other things. I could do a couple of them. I finally conceded Maddison. Maybe it's time to get Maddison in.
I'm thinking that as well. We can say that as Riz isn't here,
Yeah, he is quite very, very lucky, Maddison. As well as, interesting you mentioned Palace on your team this week.
Yeah.
Palace's fixtures and form seem to be turning. I mean, fixtures are definitely turning, but the form's going as well. I'm just looking at the stats now between similar price strikers, like the direct one for Zaha would be Arnautovic.
Yeah, I did get rid of a few weeks back.
I think you possibly need to reconsider bringing him
I'm
back.
thinking that as well.
Because
thinking myself.
He's shown it again. He's fixture proof, a bit like Hazard. He'll score, or he'll try and score against anyone.
Yeah.
And he's just that bit more clinical than Zaha. And just the form and the stats are going against Palace a bit in terms of they've never scored at home, and just the amount of chances they're creating now is not there. I mean, miraculously Zaha didn't get a yellow card. There were 7 bookings in that game, and Zaha didn't get one. So
bless him. He gets put in the air and then he gets a yellow card. You can't win, can you?
You can't. Yeah. So as I was saying, I went through those rumblings. And again, reading a fantastic article by FPL Connect at FPL Connect finally convinced me that Kane is not the way to go. Yeah,
right.
He's. I'm going to read these points these notes I've made on each of the four. And for Kane, it's basically what I'm being convinced of and what I've seen is that he's still inconsistent. He's not the Kane of last year. His shots at the moment are, I believe, half. So he was on about 44, 47 shots by this point last season. He's on about 22.
That's like 2 a game, isn't it, roughly?
Yeah, so he's inconsistent. So are Spurs. They've got, heck load of injuries. Eriksen being the main one. Moura's just not living up to being a creative player. Maybe I don't know if he is that type of player. And all of his shots are being in the box. Now, the significance of that I see is that the creativity is not there again. There's no variety of attack.
Yeah, he's not coming short or coming out of the box to let somebody else go and then receiving it. Or maybe he's not taking chances early.
Possibly. Yeah, I mean that's not his game anyways. It's come short and stuff like that. But I think he has increasingly been coming short because he's getting more and more touches outside the box. But all his shots are being in the box. Hazard, you want to read through the rest?
Yeah. Of it? So Hazard nailed in form, long-term asset as of now. I think that we've run through the stats. Hazard is the one that I need. Hazard is the one you need. Hazard's the one we all need.
Yes. Yeah.
I think Hazard is, of the four, he's definitely the.
Looking like he's finally coming good because he is the biggest troll ever. But he's already, for those who've got him, he's already repaid the faith. I think. Yeah.
We just know that next season we don't need to have him. That's how we go.
Yeah. Well, it might not be here next season.
True. So Hazard definite. Salah, fixtures easier after City, but off form. Next 2 to prove, missing big chances, so no bonus points. And Liverpool, the thing they did for you guys last year was against the smaller teams, wasn't it? Because you always did really well against the big teams.
Yeah.
But it was everybody outside the top 6 that you didn't seem to put away, or you were trying.
We struggled to break down sometimes. Yeah.
So in theory, Salah should have a really good game against City, which might influence our captain's choice this week.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
But after that, a couple of easier games, if he's not doing it by then, I mean for myself who's got a wild card pretty much coming in the next 2 weeks, if I get a bit trigger happy he might go before then. But I think Salah's the one that's most people have got but looking most likely to leave.
And borrowed time, and finally Aguero, which we've said, I think he's the long-term option if you're going for a premium striker. There aren't too many other options because the only other plan I can see, and I've seen a couple of people execute, is if you haven't got Aguero, you still need City cover, and the best option has been to drop Aguero and get Sterling in.
Yeah. Which
works because obviously you're no premium striker then, or a cheaper striker, and you're using that couple of mil, like say for example if you're still going for Vardy or Lacazette at 9 million, or Firmino, you've got the extra couple of mil to get Sterling in at 11, which I think is a viable option, as one to look for the future. But I've got it written down here. Hazard's actually played 140 minutes less than Kane. Yeah, so.
And Kane's played the most minutes.
Who has played the most minutes? Yes.
So after he looked so knackered at the, coming back from the World Cup and he had a few weeks off, still played the most minutes. I mean, that's a testament to his fitness and commitment. But is it doing him any good?
It's not.
Because he will play in the international break as well, one would assume.
Yeah. So to really hit the nail on the head, if you're on a wild card, get Kane in for this coming week with a plan to get him back out again. Whether you go for, I'd suggest whether long-term, if you're a long-term striker, I'd suggest Aguero. If you're looking for a bit of a differential, we've spoken about Leicester's fixtures turning and their results are improving. Vardy is the one I'm looking at.
Yeah, that he is a poacher, he will get you goals.
But long-term, I mean, we've said Aguero, Hazard nailed on, Kane for the one game and then change him out. Salah, if you've got him, or if you're thinking of getting him, I would actually say not. If you haven't got Salah and you're thinking of getting him, I would say not to get him.
No, because if there is this expected rats leaving the ship thing, then his price will come down. And if you want to get him then, you'll save yourself a little bit.
I mean, people are going to argue, well, if I'm not getting it, if I haven't got it, but I'm going to get him on a wild card, then yeah, fair enough, because we've got the easier fixtures coming up. They do get better. But that's the take on that. The Harry Kane issue, for me, big no. I will not be getting him in, especially since it'll cost me a -4. It's going to unbalance my team. I will not be getting him in. We'll leave it there. We'll discuss our plans, which are slightly connected to this. What are your plans moving forward into the next week and the next couple of weeks?
Unfortunately, I'm away again this weekend, so I'm going to have to set it up tomorrow night.
I was going to say, sorry to interrupt you there. Quick point, I thought I said I remember and say this at the start. It's a Friday night deadline this week.
Oh right, well that actually works out okay. That's not
Friday
as bad
night football, so don't be caught out by that. Friday night football, the deadline's 7 PM, I think it'll be. Yeah. So make sure you get on that.
Can't stand Friday night football.
Yeah.
Well that kind of plays into my hands, thankfully. So I'm going to do it tomorrow. Don't think there's any major change in the making. I think if anything, I'm going to be looking at doing a wild card in the next couple of weeks. Hazard will be coming in. Aguero was possibly on his way out, but having talked through this tonight and seeing the stats, I'm going, actually he's in better form than Kane. Whereas my mind, or gut, or heart, whatever organ choose, was saying drop them both, get Kane and Hazard in. But now I'm looking at get Hazard in and see how Salah does. So I'll have to do some rejigging, but going away at the weekend, I'll probably just keep it simple tomorrow. Maybe Maddison in, I think.
So just one transfer.
Just the one.
And who are you going to get Maddison in for?
Pedro, I think.
Yeah, Pedro's on your bench, isn't he?
Yes. I think he got injured, didn't play. But yeah, Pedro out, Maddison in.
And this is another point worth mentioning for people on wildcards, because there were a lot of good, successful wildcards this weekend that I saw on Twitter. But some people, a phrase going around as well, don't be chasing last week's points, which is what happened. A lot of people getting Richarlison back in, and he's not done anything so far. Yeah, so look at who you're getting in, and I could be accused of being guilty of that, getting Fraser, and he's not done anything so far since that 18-point haul. So Fraser again is potentially a borrowed time. With me, like I'm saying, I've got a few fires to put out, and potentially I was close to wildcarding, but I'm not. I want to keep this wildcard definitely until after this international break.
Yeah,
and
they're getting so close as well. It's
Is it a week, or is it after this game week, or is it the following game week? I think it might be the following one.
I'll say that.
Look it up, put it on Twitter. But yeah, bear that in mind. International break coming up. Again, players being away, getting further fatigued, getting injured, coming back and injured, whatever. So see what happens if you're going to fire with that wild card early. Then have a strategy in place as to backup players who you would think of putting in if somebody got injured, a major player. But my plans, I need to sort out a keeper, but again, that's going to be put off again this week.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I need to sort that out.
Yeah, Patricio. I need to get Patricio in before his price keeps rising and rising and rising. Fantastic value for the money he is. Where is my team? The other thing I was going to do, potentially Fraser for Maddison, but I'm going to put that on the back burner yet. Give Fraser Fradison? Mazer.
Fradison. He's Japanese. Fradison.
Give Fraser maybe another week or two. The one I'm definitely thinking of doing is I'm actually going to take Aguero out for his fixture against us for City Liverpool, and I'm going to bring in Vardy for that 1 week. Bring Vardy in. I think I've got some money in the bank, 0.3 possibly, 0.2. So I could do it without worrying about price changes and stuff, simply because I'm not betting on Aguero scoring against us again, and also I don't want him to. I don't want to be do not want to be rooting for Aguero scoring against Liverpool.
That's the annoying thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Your heart sinks, but at the same time it goes, no, actually it's not as bad.
It's 5 points. Damn you. So yeah, Aguero is going, because again I've got that luxury because I've got Salah, Hazard and Aguero.
Yeah, you've done well. I didn't realise that you were...
Snuck in Hazard, didn't I?
Yeah. It's just something when you see it and you go, God, yeah.
Yeah, so Hazard's going to be my captain. Aguero's going to change to Vardy for that week. I'm still not convinced by Lacazette and the like, and Firmino's just not there yet. Lacazette, people are jumping on, saying he's good and Arsenal and this, that, and the other, but
Well, I'd say from what I've seen, Arsenal just having a bit of a collective.
yeah,
So, I mean, the first 2 games were horrible, so I don't know why people were hating on them anyway, but they're having a good team turnaround. I think I can't say as I've heard of it being one player in particular.
that's right. Yeah, true. Because his stats are not there. They're not great. They're not big numbers at all. So the obvious one for me is not having Maddison is going to be Vardy for this week, and then after that we'll see how things go. See if I need Hazard, Aguero back. I think I'm not going to contradict myself. I think I will eventually end up getting him back in. But that's that pretty much. We don't know what Riz is going to do. We don't know who's going to pick his choice.
We don't know who Riz is going to pick to do his team for.
I don't think even Riz knows.
Yeah,
I don't think even Riz knows what's going to happen with his team. So yeah, we'll leave it there for that section. Any further points you want to add? Anything?
No, just if you're going to do something, use your gut. Just go for it.
Really?
It's only a game. It's only a game.
I don't know. I prefer to look at the stats.
Yeah,
look at it logically and rationally and make the best decision based on that. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed that. Hope it's been helpful and useful. If you do have any more questions, specific questions about your team, about players, things like that, do get them in early. You can always get in touch via the comment section at Time Banter 7 on Twitter. And please do make sure you like, share, subscribe, and let your friends pass on, share our link. So otherwise, tune into part 2, which is going to be really good and interesting. We're revisiting Manchester United and the debacle and finding out what exactly is going on there. So this is it for part 1 FPL. Tune into part 2 football section. See you very shortly. Goodbye.